Hey everyone, happy Thursday and welcome to the live stream. Today we're going to be using some vinyl to do a wrap around the tumbler as well as add some glitter. So before we get started on that, I'll give everybody a minute to hop on. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. I want to make sure that it sounds fine. With my new setup, I get a little nervous. So you can see my phone in here. That's probably not good. I am super excited to show you this. I've had this vinyl for so long, and I'm finally like, you know what, we got to use it. So the vinyl is from Zindy.com. I have it linked in the description box below. It's just like called like bright color leopard or something. I have it listed down there. And I'm going to use painter's tape to tape off before I glitter. And then you guys can help me decide because I had something in my mind first, the route I wanted to go with the colors, but like all day I've been thinking about it. Like naturally, I want to change my mind. So, hi everybody. I'm so glad you can hear me. It looks like Kayla's here, Tracy, Eileen, Marcia, Leslie, Marcy, Tabitha, and Courtney made it. Yay. Thanks to Siri for giving you your reminder. Brenda's here. Awesome. Juliet. Yes, I'm so excited. So before I get started, I wanted to give you a reminder. If you are on the replay, there will be timestamps so you can fast forward through different parts of the live stream if you're catching it while it's not live. The other thing I wanted to mention is that this weekend, there is going to be a 10% off Crystalac sale. Like, they don't do sales very often, but there's one thing you need to know about getting it. It's going to start Saturday morning and go through Monday night, so Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And to get the 10% off, you have to use the code in my description. You have to use my link. I have it in the description of this video. I have it also, like, if you go to the main channel and go to, like, the community page where I can, like, post things, I posted there too. Or you can, get it on Instagram or wherever. But if you use my link, you can get 10% off this whole weekend. So I will also send an email reminder like Friday night about it. It's going to start Saturday morning. So if you're not on my email list and you want to get that reminder, make sure you're signed up, as well as you can get on that Tuesday tip email. I think most of you are on that, but if you're not, weekly emails with special tips and tricks just for those of you on the email list. So I think that's it. Yeah, so don't miss the sale this weekend, but if you do need like some Crystalac supplies like ASAP, I would order before then because it does take a little bit longer when they have sales. Not like terribly long, but like a little longer than usual. So if like you need them to ship it out like ASAP, you may want to order tonight or tomorrow before Saturday. But if you want to wait and get the 10% off, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, use my link to get the discount. It should automatically apply if you use my link. That's what it's supposed to do. Doreen, hello from the UK. Oh my gosh, you're totally gonna fall asleep. It's like 1 a.m. there or later. Okay, so back to the tumbler. Now, I have a 20-ounce skinny. I get all my tumblers from Makerflow, mostly Makerflow. And this is just like a traditional tapered skinny. So it is wider on the top than on the bottom. If you're going to do vinyl wraps or water slide wraps or anything like that, if you can get your hands on like a skinny straight, I don't have one nearby, but that would just mean that it's the same thickness from top to bottom. There's no taper. It does make these tumblers a little bit easier. I posted on TikTok, but I haven't. It's out of reach, but I have a tumbler tutorial coming where I used scrapbook paper. So it's just a lot easier if you have a non-tapered tumbler, but I will show you today how it goes with a tapered tumbler. It's not that big of a deal, but, and there's several different ways you can attack it, but if you can get your hands on a straight tumbler, which they sell, I think most tumbler suppliers sell the straight tumblers these days. I generally get them from Makerflow, but they sell out so fast. I know Mother Tumbler has straight ones that I've ordered from there before and been very happy with it. I think Stainless Steel Depot has started having the straight ones too. If you guys can correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. But anyway, I'm using a 20-ounce skinny. You can do this type of tumbler on any size, any shape, whatever you want to do, really. It's just easier if there is no taper. Monica, I'm so glad you're here. I am happy to be here. I am exhausted from, I went on vacation to Arizona, and I gotta tell you, I need a vacation from vacation. Traveling with 2 toddlers is, I don't have words for it. It was great, and I'm glad we went, but it was something. So, okay. So the first thing I'm gonna do is, I'm using this decal. This is a clear cast decal. And this I got from BAMF, B-A-M-F, Custom Creations. Some of you, if you're on TikTok, you probably see her every once in a while. But let me see if I can get it closer to show you. That like middle part, this middle coffee part, kind of matches this. There we go. It's not the exact same, but it's pretty close. It's kind of got like a teal and purpley leopard print, so I thought that this would kind of go nicely. But this is a little taller than I want it to be, so what I'm going to probably do is cut off the top coffee and the bottom coffee, because if I have it this big, like, I want to do 3 sections. Okay, so I want to do this pink glitter on the top. This is called Bubblicious from Glitzy Creations. You can get 10% off your Glitzy Creations order with my link and code down below. And then I'm going to do the vinyl on the bottom. So like the bottom kind of third-ish, I'm going to do the vinyl. And then I haven't actually decided yet. I was going to do a white, but now I'm kind of thinking black. I don't really know. In the middle section. We won't get to the middle section today, so we can kind of see what it looks like after the vinyl and the pink and what we think we want to do. But I think black would look nice. So the thing about this clear cast decal is that it's printed like on vinyl with white ink behind it. So it's supposed to show up on dark colors. So if I wanted, it doesn't need to be white on top. I was going to do, I don't know, I had a lot of ideas. I wasn't 100% sure, but you know, we'll have to see how it looks. But this should show up pretty vibrantly on the pink because it supposedly has white ink on the back of it. So it pops. Like, it's not really as transparent as like a water slide or a clear sticker paper one that you would print yourself. This is like printed on like a special like $5,000 printer type situation. So yeah, that is what this decal is, but it's a little long. I think it would be good if it was like a 30 ounce, but I don't want to take up too much of the tumbler. So I think I'm just going to cut it now. And I'm not that worried about the straight edge because it's clear, right? This is clear. This is a clear cast decal that I got from, yeah. See, that's just like a little bit better of a size. BAMF, B-A-M-F, Custom Creations. We can see how it looks. Well, I'm not even going to apply this today, but this is just kind of helping me figure out sizing. I will give you my thoughts after I actually apply it. This is my first one I'm using, so I'm sure it's great quality and fine. I just can't quite recommend it yet because I've never actually used one. Okay, so with that, I am going to have a decal like right here, and then I'm going to use like painter's tape around like right here. To do whatever, I don't know if I'm going to do white or black here. So that leaves about, what is that, like 3 inches? 1, 2, 3. I'm going to cut this to be about, I think I'm going to cut it at 4 inches. To sort of just give myself some extra wiggle room. And I'm going to do it with you right now. I was going to do it ahead of time, but I figure we might as well do it together, right? get this out of the way. And I am using like just a regular paper cutter. It's a big one, like a big one, because that's all I have. So I'm gonna cut it to be 4 inches. So first I'm gonna cut off this edge that just has like the brand or something, yeah. And I'm going to use the paper cutter so I can make sure it's nice and straight. And then I'm gonna turn it around so I can mark it at 4 inches. So let me know in the chat how your week is going. I am exhausted, starting to feel a little bit better this evening. I've been chugging water all day. And I'm gonna do this, now that I'm looking at it on here. Yeah, I think 4 inches is good. And I'm going to use this piece that's 4 inches to cover the tumbler. Now, hold on. Jamie is here. Hello. If there's a taper, Charity, I'm so sorry I missed your question, but if there's a taper, would it be easier to start from the bottom? Yes. You'll see how I do it. Yes. So, since this has a taper, this is what this is going to look like, okay? And it's going to come all the way around. Now, I am going to cut off a little bit of this because I want to save it. Like, printed vinyl is expensive, so I don't like to waste any of it. But the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to make sure that I get it lined up on the top. And then I'm going to use an X-Acto knife to kind of cut. So the first thing I'm going to do is I only need it to overlap like 1 inch. So I'm going to cut off like this much. Because you know what? This little piece of vinyl, I could use it for like a keychain or something, right? I could use it on an acrylic blank. The chances that I actually use it are about 0, but I like to save it just in case. Because you know what, like, I don't know. Let me know in the chat, do you have a vinyl scrap bin of scraps that you may or may not ever use? I need to know if I'm the only one. So it's not going to be perfect where it lines up. If you had a skinny, straight tumbler, you could do a good job of like making sure the seam looks pretty good. One hard thing too is that hold on. I have an idea. I have an idea. Anyway, I forgot what I was going with this. So here's 2 things. It's going to look like this. I'm not that concerned about the seams. But if I had a straight tumbler, I could measure this ahead of time and really get it like so it was perfect before I put it on my cup. And then the second thing you could do is if you had a template, you could like make this tapered if you have Silhouette Studio. So I don't know if you guys know how to make templates in Silhouette Studio, but that is something that I'm hoping to get a training together for. I don't think I can do it on YouTube, just because of the tech piece of it. But if you are interested, I would love to do like a live training on Silhouette Studio on how to make a template for your tumbler. So let me know if that's something you are interested in. It would be free. I think it's going to have to be via Zoom just because of the tech pieces of it. But I'm glad to know I am not alone with the scraps. I do use a lot of them, but like the true nature of it is I also don't use the vast majority, is my thought. Okay, so I am going to... I'm still thinking through this because now I've had another idea. I have another idea. So, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to use the wet method to apply this vinyl. That I know for sure. I am going to trim the bottom with an edging tool. This is just a cup edging tool that I got on Amazon, but the company that really makes them is called Wicked Shimmer Supply. And then I'm going to use this to trim the bottom. And then the printed vinyl is from Zindy.com. Just want to make sure it looks a little blurry. It's from Zindy.com. There's a link in the description. And I'm going to use the wet method. So the first thing I need to do is cut some transfer tape. I've barely been down in my craft corner for, hold on, this is going to be loud. I've barely been in my craft corner for the last couple days. Well, since I got home, because I just have like a cup, like, I had one order I needed to send out today, and I have one cup I'm finishing up, but I have barely been down here, so I'm hoping that I feel like I'm unprepared because I've been gone this whole week, you know? Okay, so I'm just putting on my transfer tape, and I am going to trim this a little bit. I'm going to just use my, oops, hold on. Use my X-Acto knife here to trim this a little bit. To make it a little easier. To handle. Just getting rid of the excess to make this a little easier. Not even doing it perfectly or anything, but this transfer paper is from Amazon. It's my absolute favorite. It's called, I don't know what it's called. If you go to my Amazon page, here, let me type it in the chat. I have it linked. I can't think of the name right now, but it's my favorite. I'll put it in there, and highly recommend it. I've tried a lot of them. If you have Cricut instead, so you do need Silhouette Studio to make the template, but you can still use Cricut Design Space. You need Silhouette Studio Business Edition. And then you can, you have the warping feature, and then you can also export it as an SVG, which you can then use with Cricut. There are ways to do it in other softwares, like Photoshop you can do it, and Illustrator you can do it, but to be honest, I think Silhouette Studio is the easiest way to do it, plus it's a lot cheaper to do Silhouette Studio than to get Photoshop and stuff like that. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to, when I put this on, this is what I've decided just now. I am going to have it come off the end just a little bit, and then I'm also going to have it overlap like at the top. So it's not perfect, but I'm going to trim that later as well. So I'm just going to show you. This is just one way to do it. It's not the only way to do it, but this is how I'm going to do it today. So I need paper towels. Sorry, excuse me. I'm in your face. That was awkward. And in this spray bottle, it is full of water and 1 drop of like dish soap. That's it. Like a tiny drop of dish soap. I have a whole other video on using the wet method, so I'm not going to get too much into it, but it's just full of water and like a teeny tiny drop of dish soap. And the reason that I like to do this wet method is because it, one, makes your vinyl a little repositionable. So if you're trying to line it up like exactly where it's supposed to be, this allows you to kind of like put it on and be like, oh, I did that crooked. Now I can remove it and try again. So that's the reason. Number one is it makes it like removable. Number two is that it helps eliminate the bubbles. When you put on large pieces of vinyl, you can get bubbles, and that's no fun. You can pop them like with a knife, and I can show you that if it happens, but this wet method just really helps eliminate those bubbles. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to spray my vinyl, and sometimes I like to spray the cup too, but you don't really have to do both. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to have this come a little further down than like I normally would, like kind of hang over the bottom is what I'm trying to say. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to get it nice and snug. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, and they're going to overlap. And then the way I'm doing it this time is I don't care about the top either. So the top is also not fully lined up, but I'm going to trim that as well. Okay, so I'm just going to take this. This is just like a squeegee tool, Cricut. You can get different brands. I have like 5 of them because I always like lose them. And I'm just going to squeegee out as much water as I can. Okay, and then this is kind of... Okay, so I didn't really like how it was lining up, so all I did was peel it back, and I'm going to do it again. So I needed to, okay, so let me show you my thought process. Okay, so you can see the bottom, how this one is kind of coming up pretty high. I'm going to move this whole thing down a little bit because I want like a very little bit of that bottom part showing. Does that make sense? So I'm going to try this again. And I'm going to bring this up. Hold on. I don't know that you can see that. A little bit more. So you can kind of see I'm just leaving a little extra space here. So, because I'm cutting off the bottom. So it doesn't matter. Okay, and now this is also at the bottom. Okay, so it's not lined up on the top or the bottom really, but that's okay. I'm going to trim it off, okay? So I'm going to take my squeegee and get out as much water as I possibly can. You won't be able to remove your transfer tape, and honestly, you don't really need transfer tape either. Like, you could totally do this without transfer tape. I don't know. I feel like I do better with it. So this is how I'm going to cut the edge, okay? I'm going to take my X-Acto knife. Okay, can everybody see me and hear me? I don't see any comments, so I just want to make sure that I can, that you guys can still hear me. So this is just a normal X-Acto knife. And then I'm going to cut through where they overlap. Okay, so if you're just joining, I just applied my vinyl with transfer tape. Transfer tape is optional. Cecilia, I just peeled off the backing of the vinyl, so the sticky part of the vinyl is now stuck on the cup, but I still have transfer tape on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to show you. Here's the edge of one, and the other side is like right here. So they're overlapped about this far. Okay? So I have this, hold on, let this keep going. They overlap about this much. So I'm just going to cut through the middle of that. You want to cut through both pieces. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Okay? Alison, thank you. Okay, so I know, and this takes a lot of concentration, so hopefully I don't mess this up. This is what I hate about live, is like, if I'm just by myself, it's like, whatever, who cares, I'll just try again. But now I'm in front of all of you, and it's stressful. Not that you guys care, like, it's totally cool if I mess up, right? So, you want a sharp knife. Let's get back to this. You want a sharp knife. Hi, Deborah from New York City. Hello, hello. We've got Northeast Mississippi here as well. How exciting. So I'm just using this is a brand new blade. I highly recommend using a sharp brand new blade when you do something like this. And just before I cut this, because I'm going to have to concentrate, this is the same way I would trim fabric. So if this were fabric right here, I would be doing the same thing. They would overlap, and I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to cut through both pieces as best I can. I really am bad with these knives, so we're going to see how this goes. So I'm going to cut through both pieces, hopefully. And I'm going to peel off this top piece right here. Okay. And then I'm going to peel back this top piece as well. Okay. All right. I'm going to peel this back, and now you see how there's this piece here? Okay. So this piece was on top. Peeled it away. Peel back where they overlap. And now, here's the magic. They line up absolutely perfectly. Now, the pattern might not line up perfectly, but the edges of the vinyl do. So that's how you cut through your vinyl. I would do the same thing again. I would do the same thing for vinyl, like I just did, and for fabric. Okay, fabric is a lot harder because it's thicker, but it is what it is. Okay, so I'm just going to take my squeegee one more time to really get out as much water as I possibly can, okay? Because you're not really going to be able to take the transfer tape off without getting all that water out. Okay, South Mississippi, hello. I've never been to Mississippi, but hopefully one day I could go. In Virginia, yeah, you guys are awesome. I love you guys. Okay, so I'm just really, and I'm putting like a lot of pressure here to get out this water. And you can see it, well, I don't know if you can see it, but I can see it coming out of the edges. And honestly, if it overlaps a little bit, it's not that big of a deal. Really, like, just not, it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to wipe this clean. One thing about using transfer tape here versus not using transfer tape is that sometimes this water needs to dry before you can peel back your transfer tape. So I might have to revisit this in a little bit. Sometimes with my acrylic blanks, I let them dry for like several hours before I peel back the transfer tape. So if you do this on your own, you may want to try it without transfer tape. So like right now, see, it's still kind of coming off. So what I think I'm going to do, well, let's just try it. I might start on the glitter portion and then come back to this at the end. We'll see. Cecilia, you can use a ruler. You could use That's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head, but you could use anything, a credit card or a gift card, anything like that would work just fine. So I'm having trouble peeling this. Give me 1 second. Okay, sorry guys, I need to move it closer to my face. I don't know why I can't grab this. Here we go. Try this. There we go. Whew. Okay, so you can peel back the transfer tape. Mine's not sticking that well, so because it's still wet. So if you're having trouble getting it to stick, it's because it's still wet. But I'm just gonna peel off this transfer tape and hope for the best. Hi Cindy from New Hampshire. New Hampshire is so beautiful. Oops. Okay. See, it's a little iffy right here, but that's okay. And I currently don't have any bubbles, but if you did have bubbles, so okay, so that's like the number one reason why I like using the wet method is because of the bubble situation. But if you did, let me just double check. Like I really don't have any. If you did, you could take it, like you could just kind of poke it with your knife and then go over it with your finger, and usually it'll go away. So right now I'm gonna let this dry for a little bit, and I think I will trim it towards the end if you guys are okay with that, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trim around the bottom and I'm actually gonna trim around the top, but I want this to dry a little bit more before I do that. So what it's gonna look like, how I'm gonna trim it, let's do that first. I'm gonna lay this tape down. Yeah, Karen, you don't have to use transfer tape. I just like using it. It's totally optional. If I'm doing, I usually use the wet method a lot more with my acrylic blanks, in which case I have a lot more control. I feel like I have more control with transfer tape, but you do not need to use transfer tape. So I am going to tape this off to do the top portion with glitter. And this is just good old painter's tape. Good old painter's tape. And what I'm gonna do is not this second, but I'm gonna do the glitter, and then I am going to take my knife and I'm gonna cut around the edge here. So then when I remove the tape, it will remove the vinyl, and then I'll have a solid line. Just if that makes sense. Okay, so again, this is gonna dry and I'm going to trim the edges in a minute. Actually, I'm gonna go through with my knife right now, just so I can get it done, and then I don't have to worry about it with after my glitter. So I'm just gonna take my knife and use the tape as a guide to give me a straight edge. And I'm not that concerned about it being perfect. I honestly, you might be able to get away with not cutting this at all. I mean, I'm going to put glitter on top of it, but just to be sure I don't see any of the, like, bumps or anything from the vinyl, I'm going to go ahead and cut it, but honestly, you could probably get away with just leaving it. I don't know where I started. Okay, so I'll peel that off later. And then I'm gonna do the top portion, this pink. I think that looks good, don't you guys think? And what I'm gonna do is I am going to use the Pink Pizzazz Flippin' Awesome paints as my adhesive. I think I have enough in here. I'm a little worried that I don't, but we're gonna see. If you have the Flippin' Awesome paints, you just want to give them a nice good shake before you use them. I'm going to put the glitter on this while it is wet, like right away. I got this vinyl from Zindy.com. The name of it is in the description of this video, but I think it is called like Bright Colored Leopard. They have a ton of different leopard prints, but this one I think is called Bright Colored Leopard. Removable printed vinyl. You can totally still use removable vinyl. So, for whatever decals you're doing for something like this, or for any names, whatever, you absolutely can still use the removable vinyl that you bought. It's totally fine. It can sometimes be a little harder to get to stick for something like this, but you can totally use it, and you can totally just put Bright Tone on top of it. It totally doesn't matter. A lot of the colors, they have a lot of pretty colors that are removable, like Oracle 631. It's sometimes a little bit more of a matte color, and I've used it before, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people have, and it's absolutely no problem. Like, I would definitely make sure you put Bright Tone on top of it so it doesn't peel off, but yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to add this glitter. I'm going to use this Wet n Wild brush. Hold on, let me fix this real fast so you guys can see this. There we go. I'm going to use this Wet n Wild brush. You can use any sort of brush to apply your paints. You also don't need to use pink paints. You have a lot of options when applying glitter. You can use glitter glue, you can use Bright Tone, you can use whatever you want, really. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this Pink Pizzazz because it's already pink. If you have universal white and red pigment, you could mix up your own pink. You could do this base coat and then let it dry and then add glitter if you want. For this video, just because I feel like it, I'm going to add it right to this Pink Pizzazz. I haven't done that in a while where I added it to wet paint, but I thought that would be fine to demo, right? You can also tint the glitter glue. I did that a couple weeks ago when I did my Pendleton. Yeah, you have like a ton of options. But first things first, I want to get my cup on my foam so I can hold it, and then I can let it dry. I'm going to just have to be kind of careful. Hold on. Pause. Before I add the glitter, I'm just going to take my scissors and cut around the bottom. I'm going to trim it later, but since I want to be able to put it up like this when I'm done with my glitter, I'm just going to take my scissors and trim around the bottom real fast. Like nothing fancy, like just getting rid of some of this Ooh, these scissors are really crappy. That's all right. This is just so I can stand a little bit better when I'm done with my glitter. Optional step as well. So as I go through this, I do want to remind you that there is not always just one way to do things. Like, there's just not always just one way to do things, right? You can totally do things a little bit different. Well, we'll talk about that later. So you've got options when applying glitter. The one thing you have to just do correctly is give it the right amount of dry time. So if you're using Bright Tone or you're using like the Flippin' Awesome paints to apply your glitter, make sure, or Extreme Protection, like whatever you're using, make sure you let it dry for 4 hours. And then if you're using glitter glue, which you totally can, that only needs to dry for 2 hours. Like, that's one of the benefits of using glitter glue. But I'm just gonna go with this because I have no intention of reapplying tonight anyway. Because in 4 hours, or even 2 hours, I'm hoping that I'm sleeping. So I am just going to get this covered with pink Pizzazz. And this one, since it's a little bit darker, does get pretty good coverage on the first coat. Let me know in the chat if you have this color. This is a Flippin' Awesome paint. One of the new spring colors for the Flippin' Awesome paint. Let me know if you have this one. You can totally like make your own pink if you wanted to as well. And then I'm just going to go through and make sure that this is like as flat as it can be. I don't want to have like any paint kind of building up anywhere. Got a couple dry specks. Okay. Ooh, yeah. I love these new colors. Oh, shoot. I forgot. This is brand new glitter. I forgot to open it. Okay, the lavender is amazing. The lavender is my favorite. I don't know. I really like them all. So I'm just using a pink glitter. That's why I have a pink base. It's not exact. Like, it doesn't need to be exact. But if you have a pink base with pink glitter, just hopeful that I only need one coat, but you might need two. That's fine. If you prefer to have your cup spinning while you add glitter, totally do it, right? It's all personal preference. And I like to just really pour it on there so I can make sure I'm hopefully getting full coverage. What do you guys think? It's pretty. It's pretty. I might do a second coat, but I won't know till tomorrow. So, I'm just going to put that right there for a second. This glitter is called Bubblicious. Bubblicious, and it's one of the new one of the new colors that my girl Keita just got at Glitzy Creations. Highly, highly recommend. What? See, this is what happens. Anyway, highly recommend her glitters, and the new ones she got are super pretty. So I have another cup that's pink that I was going to give my sister. But now I'm thinking, wow, she would really like this one. The other one's leopard print too, though, so we'll see. I'll let her decide. Okay, so let me move this out of the way. Okay, if you are just hopping on, it's hard to focus on this glitter too. It's like the camera is like, that is too shiny. Let's try this. Yeah, the camera's like, nah, it's too shiny. So, let's see here. I'm gonna get this in water. I just keep my brushes like in water until I'm done, and then I'll like rinse them like after I'm fully done. Okay, what are we doing? I'm losing my train of thought. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to trim the bottom. I'm just gonna be very careful to not touch the glitter, which shouldn't be too difficult because, yeah. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm using a cup edging tool. I got this one, hold on, my camera's not focusing. I got this one on Amazon, and I really like it, but technically it's like a knockoff. So Wicked Shimmer Supply has these edging tools. Now there are hold on, let me see if I can get this to focus. There are little washers here to like make it like small or big. So I made it smaller with just 2 washers in there because I'm going to cut this off really close to the bottom and hope to just I'm going to put glitter on the bottom, and I'm going to put like, if that makes sense. But you can trim the edge however you like. If you don't have an edging tool, it's totally fine. You can do it how I just did with tape and an X-Acto knife, right? Like you could put some tape here and then trim it with a knife as well. So you don't need an edging tool, but I like the edging tool. Julia, I'm so glad you are here. I added my vinyl, which is from Zindy.com. I just added the glitter. I used pink pizzazz to paint it pink. And while that was wet, I added my pink glitter. And here we are. And Doreen, I'm so glad you were here. You should totally get to bed. So I'm going to try to figure out a way to do this. I don't think you're really going to be able to see, but what you do is basically get this and push it down and then spin it around and it'll cut level. Does that make sense? I have videos on my channel. Well, I feel like I don't even want 2 washers on this now that I'm sitting here, but I don't know. All right, well, we're just going to go with it. It's fine. It's a little higher than I want it to be, but I don't know where my screwdriver is, so I'm just going to go with it. So what I'm doing is I am pressing the cup down and into the blade. So my pressure is down to make sure the cup is level on the ground, not the ground, on the table, as well as I am pushing it into the blade that is right here. So I only hopefully have to go around 1 time. Okay, and then I can peel this away. That's it. Okay. I don't want to glitter the bottom though because this vinyl is still a little bit wet. So I am going to wait until tomorrow in order to glitter the bottom, if that makes sense. I am going to, well, I'm trying to see if I think I'm going to want a second coat of this glitter. Because if I want a second coat, which I think I might do a second coat, I'm going to leave this tape on, because then I'll just do the glitter and then I can do the rest. You know what I mean? So I think this might be our stopping point because I kind of need to wait for this to dry. Now, technically, if you didn't need a second coat, you could just move right on to this glitter part right now. Like, I don't know. I think I am going to take this tape off because I want to get this vinyl off before it gets too stuck on there. You know what I mean? So, because I don't want this piece of vinyl to stick. I don't want to get this anywhere. I'm going to let me know what you guys think in the chat. I'm going to do pink on the bottom. And then do you guys think I should do black? Or this like cool mirrory white? Or I could go with like a blue. What do you guys think? No, I already have that. What do you guys think for that middle section? Black, chunky mirrory white, or, I mean, I don't know if I have a chunky blue, but I probably do somewhere. Let me know what you guys think. While I wait for your comments, a reminder that this weekend there's that 10% off Crystalac sale from the Crystalac website. You got to use the link in my description to get the discount. There's no code, but if you use that link, it should automatically apply 10% off Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Because the other thing, I also plan, I will probably put some vinyl on here too. Here is the decal that I'll be using. Maybe I won't put vinyl. I don't know, you guys. I think I might do black vinyl. Ooh, maybe I should do... I don't know. Black, though, but then do I put vinyl? Like, I'm worried that this decal is still too big. The struggle. Okay, a lot of black, though. A lot of people are saying black. A lot of blue. Bottom. Yeah, bottom pink for sure. Bottom pink. I could do blue glitter with a thin black piece of vinyl. I could... Ooh, so many options. Brenda, the discount should work on everything. I think it's site-wide. Should be 10% off everything. White. Yeah. Ooh. I feel like white with thin black vinyl plus this decal could be cute. Man. I was like really thinking black before I started, but like now that I'm thinking maybe some black vinyl, I'm going to have to go with one of these. I thought maybe they would be too much white, but now that I'm looking at it, I don't know. I have to think about it. Black glitter. I mean, it could be, so many options. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through my next steps because I won't be able to finish this all tonight. I mean, I could, if you applied the vinyl without the wet method, you could move on to the next part, but because you really, really, really want to make sure that all of that water is dry, I don't want to like do anything to compromise its ability to dry, like by putting bright tone or glitter glue or whatever you use like on the edge, you know what I mean? So I'm going to wait. This is how I will finish up this cup. Also, let me know white if you go with a vinyl strip. Yeah, blue with black. Oh, you guys, this is so hard. Okay. Make sure you guys are following me on Instagram because I'll probably ask there again just tomorrow as I move forward. But let me walk you through how I'm going to do. Let me know in the chat too if while I go through the rest of this cup, if you would like me to upload those steps, like part 2 of this, if you guys want me to make that, like, it won't be this Tuesday most likely, but the following Tuesday, I could put that on as the tutorial, part 2, like how I finish this cup. Let me know if that's something you want. I think I might, so I can see how this decal goes. So anyway, what I'm going to do is, I haven't fully decided if I'm going to need a second coat of this glitter. I don't know that I need it, but I think I might add a second coat of this pink. So what I will do is just wipe off any excess glitter. I'll just do it tomorrow or 4 hours later, right? 4 hours or tomorrow. I'm going to just dry brush this, and then I will add glitter glue and do a second coat. So that's what I'll do there. To do this middle part, I'll probably tape off, like I'll probably put a piece of tape around the edge of the top here just to make sure it's good, you know what I mean? Like I don't know if I'll tape it off. That optional. And then but I will most likely tape off the bottom so I can make sure I have a nice crisp line on the bottom. So yeah. And then I'll add the glitter. Again, I'm going to do pink on the bottom. Still unsure. I'm going to have to look back at all of these comments because, yeah. We're going to have to see. I'm going to have to mull this over for a couple days while I finish up the rest. Anyway, so I will do the glitter. You don't have to seal, like, you don't have to seal this before you do this, but you can. If you are, like, really messy, you may want to seal it with a coat of Bright Tone before you move on to the next glitter part, because then it'll just wipe right off. I have done that too. Yeah. So let me know if you guys have any other questions, but I think this is going to be our stopping point for right now. And then I will for sure upload part 2. It won't be this Tuesday, but the following Tuesday, hopefully I can have that cup done for the tutorial. Just a recap, the vinyl is from Zindy.com. The glitter, which I will all be using, is from Glitzy Creations. Of course, you can use whatever glitter that you have, but if you're looking for some new glitter, highly recommend. I used painter's tape. I applied with the wet method. You don't need to use the wet method. It's optional. Tonight here I used transfer tape, but you also don't need to use transfer tape. Optional. The way I cut it with the X-Acto knife is the same if I had a wrap around the whole cup. It's the same way I would cut if I was doing a fabric tumbler. And I used the pink Flippin' Awesome as my adhesive, but you could totally use whatever method you prefer to apply your glitter, right? You could use glitter glue, Bright Tone, spray adhesive if that's your preference. Yeah. So, thanks, Diana. Oh my gosh, you're here. That's so good to see your name. Okay, so again, reminders, next week, or this weekend, Crystal X sale. Make sure you use my link. I will also be sending an email tomorrow night. Tomorrow's Friday, right? Tomorrow night, because it starts Saturday morning. So then you can have a link there as well. So if you're not on the email list, grab that. Monica, you have to get Emily's Pearl. Emily's Pearl is the absolute best white. Here, I have it right here. I'll show you. It is like, my camera's not going to want to focus, but this white is Emily's Pearl from Glitzy Creations and is my absolute fave. And silver and blue together. Ooh, oh man. Okay. Jamie, honestly, just shake it a lot. Like, I wouldn't worry too much. Like, some of it, like, it might not be perfect, but honestly, just shake it super hard and as much as you can. You don't need to worry about shaking it too much, but I also will, like, hit it against my hand or hit it against the table. So if you're having trouble, getting it to combine, which was Jamie's question, getting it to combine, just really go after it. But it's okay. Like, mine's not 100%. Like, you can kind of see a little pigment. there, it is what it is. Any other questions? Next week's live tutorial, not 100% decided yet, but I am thinking about doing, what was the other one I was going to do tonight? Oh, a tie-dye with my markers. I want to do a... Yeah, I sent it in an email today. I'd have to look. My brain is kind of starting to fry as it gets later and later tonight. But I think next week we will do a tie-dye with the acrylic markers that I got, that I randomly went live last weekend to kind of test out. And the tutorials coming up will be the filming of part 2 here. If you're on my Instagram, I'm going to post the bride tumbler. That if you saw my Instagram, I'm going to do the tutorial for that. That'll be this Tuesday. And Meryl, yes, this absolutely will be loaded. I don't know if it's available immediately because I think it takes a little time to actually upload at when I'm done. But within a few minutes, you should be able to go back and watch the beginning. Monica, I totally have a tutorial on my channel to clean the inside of the cups. So I... use an X-Acto knife and I fill my cup with water and let it sit and then clean it out with a magic eraser. But I have a video on my channel. And Jennifer, Julia, yes. Okay, so you guys can totally do it with me when we're going live next weekend. Or next Thursday, every Thursday. And if you're not on my email list for tips and tricks, exclusive to the email list, or at least priority to the email list right before I post it anywhere else, make sure you get on that email list. And don't forget, if you're going to shop this weekend to get the 10% off Crystalec, that you use my link. It is in the description of this video. You can get it really on any one of my YouTube videos or on my Instagram page. You can get it there, so you can get your 10% off. It's supposed to apply automatically, so hopefully that works. And then I will see you all next week. As always, I really want to make sure that I'm making videos that you guys want to see, of course. But things do take time. So if there are things that you want, you can always reply to my emails. You can message me on Instagram, comment on any of my YouTube videos. I really try to answer every single comment whenever possible. So I will see you all next week. Thank you so much for coming.